So now to conclude, the chords before Paco de Lucia were only 4 chords. First minor, flat 7, flat 6, fifth 7, flat 9. Then this after Paco de Lucia, which changed everything, means that we have now 16 chords. Let's recap. This will be the first minor, flat 7, flat 6, fifth 7, flat 9. Here we have 4. Plus the 4 minor on flat second, and the 5th minor, that is 7th, and then secondary dominant 5th of the flat 7th, secondary dominant 5th of the flat 6, secondary dominant 5th of the 4 minor, right, and secondary dominant 5th of the 5th minor, F sharp 7, generally flat 9 in this case. That's how he used. So therefore we have now 7 plus 4, 11 chords, plus the degree flat third, major, major 7, that's 12, and now the substitute dominants, which are also 4, those are 16 total. Those 4 substitute or so-called tritone substitute dominants are the 5th of the flat 7, the 5th of the flat 7, so instead of this 5th of the flat 6 and 5th of the 4 minor and 5th of the 5th minor. So those are 16 chords there, and out of the 16 chords, in modal, talking about the modes, he will use the Aeolian and not the Dorian for the first minor, the Mixolydian for the flat 7th, the Lydian for the flat 6, and the Phrygian for the 5th 7 flat 9, which is very particular thing, and because this cadence altogether is very special thing. It doesn't come from any scale, and it's a weird thing. Almost alien, because you cannot explain it from any scale. You have to start to do adjustments like, well, Phrygian major and this and that, but then you destroy the very meaning of the mathematics that this harmony has. So therefore, just like the blues has its own, you use pentatonic scale over the chords of the blues progression, first 7, 4, 7, 5, 7, but those chords, the scale pentatonic does not give these chords, right? So you use the scale over the chord. That's another thing. So we can also use any mode, minor melodic, any mode, Dorian, etc., whatever, over the chords of the Andalusian cadence, but that doesn't mean that the Andalusian cadence came from the minor harmonic, or came from this, came from that. Except that chord, all are the same. No, then it doesn't come. You have to adjust things in mathematics and in harmony. When you, if it fits, fits. If it doesn't fit, doesn't fit. So 2 plus 2, 4, and that's it. And then if that is not happening, then we have to conclude that these 4 chords are alien, actually, do not come from any scale. But anyway, the thing is that in use of scales, what Paco was using, we will observe here that he will use for the 4 minor, he will use the Dorian scale, but not the Aeolian, and for the first minor he will not use the Dorian. And also, one very interesting thing, if I play the G major scale, which happen to have the same notes, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, are the same notes which are there in the D Mixolydian, or in the C Lydian, or in the B Phrygian. I don't have to change the scale, and automatically, because the chords are changing, the mode is changing. Right? This. I mean this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could play G major scale all over these 4 chords, no problem. That gives actually the basic tendency of Paco's modal approach to this cadence. Of course, there can be make ultra complex stuff with that, but to understand it first, very important thing is that all these topics you need to actually explore it you. And to do that, you cannot do this thing just by watching videos. You need to do it really. To do it, that's why we do in Skype the lessons. So if you want to join, you are welcome from any point. You can do this. And I can tell you specifically how you start to apply these topics to your own playing. Because when you experience the thing, then it becomes real. Right? Otherwise, it's just theory. And as Maestro Bill McBurney said very wisely, in theory there is no difference between practice and theory. But in practice there is, because when we need to do something, there is a gap there. So, and therefore, those are the 16 chords now expanded, and then we will continue talking about the approach of using minor melodic scale, minor harmonic scale, symmetric scale, whole tone scale, the Debussy modernistic, impressionistic French scale, and its origins, and how, well, you know, you can search one video, I will post at the description, the explanation of Maestro Leonard Bernstein, the great Leonard Bernstein, Lenny Bernstein, explaining about the whole tone scale. And you know, this Debussy started with that. He explains the specifics, and then for the first time in history, then of course this went into the jazz guys, and you know, Coltrane, Charlie Parker, etc., Miles, and then McLaughlin was the guy from which Paco took this thing and used it in flamenco, and that's why now we are using whole tone scale in flamenco. Well, this also about the double diminished scale, about the diminished scale, and the most important thing, minor melodic, because it contains all the essence of Paco de Lucia's aesthetics, and because his inspiration was Manuel de Falla, and the music of Manuel de Falla did have this kind of sound. Just to give you an example, this is called Efecto Manuel de Falla, which is a minor melodic scale played from the flat 7th of the chord, and that gives so this scale here very particular, and how it can be used in composition and improvisation. We need to go to the minor melodic stuff, and also because this is the most important scale in modern music, and also in modern jazz. McLaughlin said that is the most rich thing one can do, well, because it has so many uses. So to get there, then we need to first, of course, we have to regard the modes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, etc., right? Because if we don't do that, then how we will get minor harmonic? Forget it. Minor melodic scale, the most flexible, malleable scale in modern music, and also thanks to Paco in modern flamenco guitar.
Me ayudó porque descubrí ahí la improvisación. La improvisación es algo que yo pienso que cada músico del estilo que sea, del clásico, del flamenco, de cualquier otra música, debería aprender, porque en la improvisación te da mucha libertad y a la vez te da mucho conocimiento de dónde estás tocando, de cómo estás tocando, de qué armonías están en cada momento, ¿no?
Muy bien. Pablo.
Sí, Paco, ¿qué es para usted la música popular y qué es la música elitista?
Yo creo que la música elitista es el refinamiento de la música popular. Por ejemplo, el flamenco. El flamenco originalmente es una música popular, la música del pueblo de Andalucía. Pero creo que ya no le pertenece más al pueblo, porque de pronto habemos gente que nos hemos pasado toda una vida encerrados, puliendo esa expresión popular. Entonces ha llegado a un nivel en el que el pueblo ya no tiene acceso, sobre todo a los matices que vamos consiguiendo la gente como yo, que nos pasamos muchas